I'm Carol Ann Ford. I played Susan in Doctor Who. And I've been listening to the Five-ish Fangirls podcast, and it's absolutely amazing. So, goodbye everybody, and it's been fun talking to you.
The tangents this week continue all the way to episode number 72 of the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. If it's time, I'm ready. I am ready to save the world. Welcome everyone to this week's episode of the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. So glad you could join us. Let's start off like we do every week by going around the virtual table and see who joined us this week.
This is Brittany in Belvedere.
This is Mich in Kitchener, Ontario.
And this is Rachel in Indianapolis, Indiana. Hello everyone, we're back.
I just realized the digits of this episode, the number of this episode, adds up to 9, and 9 was a really important number in the original Heroes series, and
We timed it that way, really. We did.
We did this on purpose.
Exactly, yes. Just like we skipped a week on purpose. No, not really. No, the podcasting gods were not in our favor last week.
Well, it would have been episode 72 anyway, even if we recorded last week.
Yes, that is true. We're back after a week off. No one person's fault.
It's
it was
my
just
fault this time. I had a social
combination.
life.
Yeah, well, it was a combination of some of us being sick, some of us having technical issues, some of us having other plans. There was a holiday last week, so yeah, it was a hot mess. So we're just like, okay, man, we're just gonna take a chill pill and let the karma right itself again, and then we'll try again. So here we are, I guess. Oh my. So, and we're ish, obviously, although Chrissy may join us, maybe, if she can. We'll see. Holly may join us, depending on what time she gets home. We'll see. So, 'tis the season to see every friend and family member you don't see the rest of the year, I guess.
Yep.
'Tis the season to be social. But, we're gonna keep on keeping on here with news. A decent amount of news. Most of it's not really has a whole lot to say, but we're gonna talk about it anyway. First off, if Chrissy was here, she'd be squeeing news. If you heard some screaming about 2 weeks ago, and it came from the general direction of Utah, that was probably Chrissy, because for FanX in Salt Lake, which is rapidly coming up, they have started announcing guests, and they have 2 former doctors attending. One of them is Sylvester McCoy, which is exciting, and I'm sure Sylvester will be Sylvester and do what Sylvester does. But the other...
He'll have spoons on hand.
Yeah, he will have his spoons on hand, and he will probably be walking up and down the audience during his Q&A. So if you're going to FanX, be prepared to not take pictures of Sylvester up on stage because he won't stay there.
You can take pictures of him in the aisles.
Exactly.
Pointing the mic at people so they can ask him questions.
Yeah, which that's fun. It's like playing Where's Waldo. It's like live animal photography. It's like they're on the move and they won't stand still long enough for you to get a picture.
There's no such thing as a bad seat at a Sylvester McCoy panel.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. But the more exciting for at least Chrissy is Peter Davison is going to be at FedEx, and Chrissy is very, very excited. She's finally gonna get to see her doctor, and I totally get and understand how she feels. I told her to try to keep the crying to a minimum because crying on doctors is my job. Don't know what I'm talking about? Go listen to our convention episode. Or go listen to my side trip from Traveling the Vortex about Chicago TARDIS from 2 years ago. And you'll know exactly what I'm talking So, but yeah, I'm excited for Chrissy that she's finally going to get to see and hopefully meet her doctor. And with any luck, she can get a bumper from him. And then we'd have all of the living classic series doctors except for Tom Baker.
Which, no offense, but I highly doubt we'll get that one.
No.
See how he doesn't like to travel, apparently.
Nope. So not unless someone of us goes to England for something sometime soon.
Well, if I can get the money, my friend is planning on taking it. Says that I can come if I can afford it, but
that would be
I
exciting.
don't know if I'd be able to see Tom Baker while I was there.
I'm going to go all the way to Europe to hunt down a former doctor.
Well, if
so that's
you're
a way
going,
to roll.
Like if I was going anyway, and maybe there was
an event
he was appearing at during that time.
Yeah. I hear you. I feel you. So, yes. Even though the Doctor Who convention season is pretty much done, it's going to pick right back up again. That's the long and the short of it.
It's like NASCAR.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. Really short off season. Which is good. So.
Off season is like 2 months.
Yeah.
2.5 months.
Yeah, that's
it's not very long.
Yep.
No.
As off season goes, it's not bad. So moving on. But speaking of Doctor Who, staying in Doctor Who, we have got a clip, our first clip of John Hurt return finish. And it is from the first episode of his run, which is called The Innocent. And I listened to it, and I had visuals in my head. I was like, yeah, he just picked this character up right where he left off. Technically, it takes place before when we see him in Day of the Doctor, but as far as the mannerisms and the way he's speaking, it's like John Hurt never left the role, which is awesome.
It hasn't been very long for him anyway.
Well, yes, that's true. It's only been a couple of years. That is true. So. But it makes me very excited for these audios to drop. So. Yay! And Radio Times has that clip if you want to listen to it, just like they did with the clip from Ten and Donna. So. Alrighty. Moving on to DC, we've got a new trailer and a little bit before recording for DC's Legends of Tomorrow. So it is going to have its premiere on January 21st on the CW. And Mitch is trying to figure out how she's going to watch multiple shows all at the same time.
Because the Legends of Tomorrow trailer starts halfway through the Legends of Tomorrow premiere starts halfway through the Heroes Reborn finale.
Yep.
For me.
That's not inconvenient at all. Thank you, TV schedulers.
Yep.
We'll talk about the Heroes Reborn schedule here in a little bit.
According to DVR Legends of Tomorrow, and then once Heroes Reborn is done, start from the beginning and get caught up through commercial breaks. And
yeah, you're gonna have to. It's
supposed to be done, maybe a little bit after.
Yeah. It's going to be very.
It'll be interesting. I'll work it out.
Yeah. Make it work. It's like Project One Way. Make it work.
Make it work.
Make it work. Alrighty. And then switching from DC to Marvel. And this broke the internet, at least a little bit. Because, that Star Wars movie's so close now. We got to look past that. So we got the first trailer for Captain America Civil War, and I kid you not, I watched this a half a dozen times in a row as soon as it was on the internet.
Yeah, that sounds about right. For me, too.
I watched it, and by the end, I was like,
Does it make me a bad fan that I haven't watched it yet?
Yes.
hey, I've been walking and
your geek card is revoked until you've watched it.
Take the 4 minutes and go watch the... Not even 4 minutes. It's like 2.5 minutes. Go take the 3 minutes and watch it while you're on the toilet or something. I'm pretty sure I have a couple times. But it's so good. Oh, it's so good. I'm so excited. Chauncey was mad because I'm like, forget Star Wars. I want to watch this. And he was like, no, Star Wars. I'm like, no, Captain America.
Stephen Bucky.
Oh, my goodness. Bucky and Steve and the fighting, and then Tony is all like, no. It's just a trailer, but man, the feels. I can't remember the last time a trailer gave me feels like that. Right in the heart. Oh, it's so good. And that's
I love how much screening over a trailer. I can't wait to see how you're after the movie.
I know. I know. And it's like, and there's so many little things, and there's so much happening, and if you got to watch it several times just to be like, wait, was that who is that in the background? Is that where are they? What's going on here? So, man, it's good. Man, it is good. Now I'm very excited. I feel like I need to watch it again. It's just a trailer. No, it's good. So, and it dropped. It dropped. It was weird because it was on Jimmy was it Kimmel? It was Kimmel, not Fallon. It was Jimmy Kimmel. That it was Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. showed up, and Robert Downey Jr.'s like, well, I got the poster for everybody to see, and then Chris is like, I got the trailer, and then so it aired on TV at like late at night, and then all of a sudden it was on the internet, and I was not expecting it, and I kept watching it and replaying. That's become a thing now. Is like trailers are dropping on like late night TV. I don't know what the thinking is. Like, people are asleep, they'll wake up, and it's like, "Phew, here you go. It's already got 5 million views on it. You missed it." My heart rate's all up. I'm all excited now. Marvel. Speaking of Marvel, moving on here to some interesting news, but I guess it makes sense. But the premiere for season 2 of Agent Carter has been pushed back. Granted, it's only been pushed back 2 weeks, but still, it's been pushed back. So she was Agent Carter was supposed to premiere on January 5th. Now she's going to premiere on January 19th, and we can attribute that to January 12th being the State of the Union address, which is aired live on all mainstream TV channels and news channels. So, but I guess they didn't want to preempt the second episode and create a scheduling problem. So it has nothing to do with the actual production of it. It's just they didn't want to have a chop in the story so early. Heroes Reborn. know nothing about chopping up a story in a weird spot at all. Again, we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
I'll have something to say about that.
Yeah. We all will. Well. Anyways, that's it for news. It is a new month, so what does mean a new photo challenge. And Brittany's actually here to talk about it.
Yeah, well, Star Wars photo challenge to help us get ready for the Force Awakens coming out. So basically, it's just like what we've done with like the 31 Days of Halloween, just different categories like favorite planet, favorite Jedi, stuff like that.
Mm.
So, and I actually have a rule this time.
Yeah.
And the rule is because Force Awakens comes out and not everyone's going to have a chance to see it right when it comes out, I put in that you can't use anything from that movie. And I try to make the things where you don't have to use it, but that's the rule.
Right. Yeah.
Especially I know.
Usually we don't have any rules.
Yeah, it's weird now, but
we're just trying to avoid spoilers is the biggest thing. So, I mean, at this point, if it's something maybe that's been in the trailer, you're probably okay. Like, I don't remember what all the prompts are, but I know there's some other Star Wars photo challenges out there going on at the same time. They're using the exact same hashtag. And I know one of them that was like favorite droid, and I saw somebody use an image of BB-8. And it's like, yeah, you can do that. There's no spoilers there, but
yeah, it's we kind of know about that about the trailers and like pretty much any like main store like Target or Walmart. There's like big posts like so that's fine, but I mean like you know what I mean.
Once you see the movie. If it was something that wasn't in a trailer, don't use it.
Yeah, that's
pretty much all we ask. Don't spoil the movie for the people that don't get to see it right away.
Yep.
That's all we're really asking. Oh. Alrighty then. So that's the challenge for this month. And then this month's book club choice is Lethbridge Stewart, Mutually Assured Domination by Nick Walters, which the guys have done a non-spoiler review on Traveling the Vortex, but they will be doing a spoilery review at some point down the line. I think they're doing the previous book. They're going to do the spoilerish review, and then this will go on the...
Well, they're going to do Schizoid Earth spoilery review, which I'm still 2 books behind. I'm still on Schizoid Earth.
Oh, okay. So.
I haven't read any of them.
Well, yeah, because it's the Beast of Fang Rock was the next one.
Review.
Yeah. I haven't read any of the Lethbridge Stewart ones, so I'm behind. That wasn't me.
Brittany?
Sorry.
No, you're fine. That's what happens when the device you're using Skype for also happens to be your phone.
That would change after this coming week.
Yeah.
Yay. Technical.
Oh, so that is it for news. So we're going to jump into this week's topic, which is Heroes Reborn up to this point. I feel like it needs an asterisk or something. Heroes Reborn up to the
episodes.
Yes,
Which
almost all of them.
I listened to this podcast. I listened to 10th Wonder. Episode 9 might have been a better break point because the cliffhanger.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Right, with Miko in the future.
Yeah.
And that would have been, like, to go out and that would have been better than of episode 10.
Yeah, just a little bit. Just a little. Here's the thing. We discussed Heroes Reborn after the premiere. So, and we were all generally positive about it, and we were very interested and curious on where things were to go. And they've done a pretty good job about keeping us on our toes as far as the story. But between the way that they have aired this and some of the story and the timey-wiminess, just like I usually can handle timey-wimey after years of watching Doctor Who and lots of episodes of Doctor Who. Timey-wimey and Once Upon a Time, timey-wimey should not be an issue. Even with the original Hero series, there's time travel involved, and I'm able to follow it. This takes timey-wimey and kind of turns it on its head. And we've got 10 episodes in with only 3 left to go, and as much as I'm enjoying it, there's a big part of me that is all like, what the heck are they doing? What is going on? Do they even know? How are they gonna... There's only 3 episodes left, and you've got all these loose ends, and there's questions that aren't answered yet. And
they released a trailer the day of the fall finale that apparently Tommy's gonna go back to some point in time and change everything. So I think the timey-wiminess might get worse.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy.
We don't.
Like, there's a mention of, I know exactly what point to go back to save him, and Erica saying, if you change this, none of us will. I don't remember. None of us will exist or something.
Yeah, it'll completely change everything, and like they won't survive or whatever. It's like at this rate, you're not going to survive anything anyway, you crazy lady.
Yeah.
But it's like this whole... I mean, we had this whole thing where Noah... We finally get Hero back. I mean, I know personally I've been like chomping at the bit waiting for the return of Hiro Nakamura. It's like every week I'm like, ooh, we can get Hiro, we can get Hiro, we can get Hiro, and then no Hiro. And then finally they're like, next week, the return to Hiro, and he was in it for like 5 whole minutes. And then the week after that, like, we really got some more Hero, and we have this whole thing with Noah going back to June 13th, and with Hero's help trying to change the events of what happened on June 13th, and Hero tells Noah that he can't. Because, Hero's thing throughout both the original series and now is not stepping on any butterflies, the whole butterfly effect thing. And as far as Hero's concerned, there's too many butterflies, but then Noah ends up changing the past inadvertently, and then he goes back to the present, and it doesn't seem that different. Which, it's like, okay, well, then he didn't step on that big of a butterfly. It seems like there should be changes that happened that didn't, and then some of it is, did something actually change, or was that the way it was all the time? Thing with Quentin. It's like, was Quentin always working for Erica, or was he...
I don't think so. I think he's the major... He's the butterfly. Like Noah said, he's the butterfly.
Okay. Because it just... it seems... And now, Tommy / Nathan, whatever you want to call him. What are you calling him? Are you calling him Tommy or Nathan?
He seems to be going by Tommy. Because the one time that he's been called Nathan since we found out about that was when Noah did it, when he came into the hospital room. Ever since then, everyone else has been consistent in calling him Tommy.
Right.
Which makes me think that he wants to be called Tommy. And I'm respecting his choice and calling him Tommy.
Makes sense to me, because ever since we found out who he actually was, I'm like, what do we call him, Nathan or Tommy? Like, Noah's calling him Nathan.
He called him Nathan once, but since then he's been calling him Tommy.
Tommy, so yeah, I was good.
So he's clearly made a choice to go by Tommy.
Yeah.
So I'm going to respect that choice and call him Tommy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that sounds like a very good idea.
Me too.
I guess that's one of the things we should probably touch on is Tommy and his
Melina?
sister. Yeah, his sister. Melina, which you figured that out before it actually got revealed in the show, so gold star to you.
Okay, they're the only teenagers in the main cast, pretty much. Well, Mako technically, but so a couple of teenagers, both destined to save the world. I'm like, could it be maybe like the way Heroes works? It seemed very likely that they were connected somehow, probably twins. So, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking, but I wasn't following along or something. So, you're all like, they're the twins! And I'm like, okay.
They're twins! And they're Claire's twins.
They're Claire's twins, and Tommy is the reason that Claire's dead.
They were Peter's kids, but that's obviously not the case.
Yeah, we don't even know where Peter is. They haven't even mentioned him.
There's they've been doing these ebooks, these Heroes event 6 books, ebooks in a little event series that you can get from Amazon on Kindle. And book 5 is basically Claire describing what's happened to her since she went public in a letter to the father of her children. She's writing this letter on the way to the Odessa summit to the father of her children.
And we still don't know who that is?
No, other than that Claire calls him Hammer because of this book she read, and he was wearing a trench coat. He always wears this trench coat, and she'd read this book. I forget. So she calls him Hammer, and that's the only way he's referred to in the book. And in this book, we do find out a bit of what's been happening with Peter. Apparently, he started a movement against mandatory registration of EVOs. So, you should read it. It's book 5 in the event series. Save the cheerleader, destroy the world.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't gotten into the...
It's only like $3, so...
Oh, okay. Cool. I haven't gotten into the extended universe or whatever.
I got all the well, except the games. I haven't bought the games.
Yeah.
Yet.
I watched the Dark Matters on YouTube before it started airing, but that's really it. Which I'm glad I watched that, because otherwise when
there's a
Phoebe shows up in the show, you'd be a little confused.
Yeah. There's a connection between, you know that package that Quentin receives from Hero Truther?
Mm-hmm.
There's a card that says "See more clearly." So, hinting at that Renee, the Haitian, was connected to the Hero Truther, whatever organization movement. So, and after when we were talking about June 13th, Part 2, talking about how Noah didn't check that it was Claire.
Mm-hmm.
In the security footage in episode 3, he does.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because that's one of the things that always bugged me.
I rewatched preparation for this episode. So, and I made a note of it.
Well, you're better organized than I am, because I'm having trouble keeping track.
I just wanted to rewatch the series so I would have it fresh in my memory.
I probably should before it comes back next month, just to make sure everything's fresh. It's on my list.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, even without the whether Noah checked or not, I mean, we pretty much did get confirmation that it was Claire for sure, and we got a reason why she died. It was Tommy's fault because he takes after his uncle and
his grandfather
and has the ability to absorb other people's powers. That's his power.
Well, he takes after his great grandfather in that he steals the power instead of merely copying.
Yeah.
Peter copies. Arthur stole.
Well, yeah, that's true.
But he is like Peter in that he can only hold on to one at a time, which I'm guessing that they discovered the first time he scraped his knee and it didn't heal.
Mm.
Because when Noah finds them again after they go back in time and then live forward.
Mm-hmm.
He finds them living in that house in Odessa, and Hero's like, he stole my power, and he stole Claire's power, and then he stole my power, but he can only hold on to one at a time. So, yeah.
Which is a minor inconvenience.
Yeah. Although if he could retain more than one, he would have healed from the car accident, and we would be like, what?
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. There must be some sort of and I saw in a write-up somewhere that someone was confused about how exactly that power works, because they were so concerned about making sure that he and Melina don't meet each other until the absolute last minute, yet Tommy goes near other people with powers and doesn't seem to take theirs.
I think it's just that Angela is overly paranoid and doesn't realize that Tommy can control that aspect of his power.
Yeah, that may be. I mean, when he took Claire's, I mean, he didn't have any choice in the matter. He was a newborn.
Well, actually, according to the book, he took it when he was still in the womb.
Oh well. He wasn't even born yet. That makes it makes it less his fault.
Just before her water breaks, she cuts her hand and it doesn't heal.
Mm.
So obviously by that point he's taken her power.
Which makes it even less his fault.
Exactly. He wasn't
blame him for that. He had no control over it. Oh, the show. the things you come up with. So, yeah. Well, the things that Noah did change. The one thing he didn't change is Erica Kravitz. She is still a word I'm not going to say because this is a family-friendly podcast. Oh, my goodness.
The only thing that seems to have changed with her is that she now limps from getting shot.
Yeah. She's still just as egotistical, stuck up,
pompous,
holier than thou, pompous, high and mighty person. I don't like her. If you couldn't tell, I don't like her.
No.
Oh. I've been comparing her to, I had been comparing her to Rosalind on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but then they somewhat redeemed Rosalind on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as much as I didn't want them to. But Erica, not so much. Erica's just she's just messed up. So
she's as bad as ever.
Thankfully, at this point, some that were on her side have finally seen the light. Mostly her daughter was a convert. She quickly converted, actually.
Well, her daughter is pregnant with an Evo's baby.
That too.
So she's like,
it's a little important that she makes sure that her mom doesn't destroy the entire universe.
Francis, her boyfriend, and then Taylor found out she was pregnant, obviously with Francis's baby.
Yeah. So we have her on our side, ish.
Yeah. She said she was with the hero truther people when she met Carlos and Farah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
And although Erica still has her minions with Harris. And then Parkman. Let's talk about Mac Parkman for a minute. What in the HE double hockey sticks happened to Matt?
I'm so confused.
I missed my Matt Parkman.
Well,
I know he wants to protect his family from
5 years gone.
Yeah, he wants to protect his family when the impending doom happens and all that, but still, that's not the Matt Parkman that we came to know and love in the original series. This guy he's a company man.
5 years gone.
Yeah. It's just, what happened to him to have him become such a... like he said, he's a company man through and through. And that's awful. Absolutely awful. He's using his ability to control tons of people. He's using it to torture people. It's just, that's not the Matt. That's not Parkman. That's not the Matt that I like. I don't like it. And that's one of those things that's like, we have 3 episodes left. Are we going to get any sort of backstory to find out how Matt ended up in this situation? Or is they going to leave us? I'm concerned that they're going to leave things hanging, thinking that maybe they'll get to come back again. And as much as I would like for it to come back again, I don't know how it's doing as far as the ratings are concerned, but it doesn't seem to be going over too favorably with some people on the internet. So I'm just concerned that they're going to leave stuff open for potential other miniseries, and then it's never going to happen, and we're going to be left wondering. Which is frustrating. I haven't really been involved in any TV shows that have kind of just ended and left you hanging. I really don't want to start now. Thank you very much.
Much on that in the book, except for that he wasn't working for Renatus pre-June 13th. I don't know when or why he started.
Right. And again, those are questions that we may or may not get the answers to in the next 3 episodes. So.
Well, they have a trailer for the next 3 episodes.
Yeah.
To check that out.
Yeah. So, I'm trying to think what else there's as far as major questions I still have. I'm glad I'm happy to see Parkman because I always enjoyed seeing his face, but I just don't enjoy this aspect of Matt Parkman. I'm glad Quentin is back, although he was a somewhat bad guy. He's still kind of on the fence, I think. This version of Quentin.
He seems to be second guessing the plan.
Right. Which is good, because you should be second guessing Eric Kravitz, thank you.
Yeah. He's second guessing Erica Kravitz's plan. Phoebe, his sister, seems to be. I'm not so sure, but like, how did you get like this kind of thing?
Yeah.
So, and I mean, when he died at the end of episode 6, I was like, what? I was confused because I saw him in the episode, in one of the scenes I saw filmed at the beginning of October.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew he was still in the series, and so when he died, I was like, huh? And the June 13th part 2, there he is, alive and well, and working for Erica.
Right. Well, I think with Quentin, we can assume that since Quentin is the person that runs into Erica after Noah, one of the Noahs, shoots her, that because they connected sooner, and he essentially bargained with her to get him access to Phoebe, that Erica was able to get her claws into him earlier in the timeline than what we had seen in with Dark Matters and all that, and what we'd seen in the earlier episodes. And he was really doing everything to try and save his sister, but Phoebe's so far gone. She's been completely brainwashed, and is, whether she can be saved is yet to be determined at this point, but right now it doesn't seem like there's much that can be done for her. But I think that where the timeline there diverges and what happened to Quentin, I think we can safely point that to that instance, I think, there. But now that he's wavering on being loyal to Erica, hopefully he'll continue to waver all the way back to the good side, away from Erica and Renatus. Especially considering it seemed like Erica had gotten Tommy onto her side, but then he switched back thanks to Miko.
I think that seems to be what happened.
Yeah.
We'll see when it comes back.
Yeah. Which, again, that's one of those. Well, and Miko coming back, I don't think really had anything to do too much with Noah changing the timelines, because the Miko that we've been seeing is not the actual Miko to begin with. She is a computer-generated entity from her father. He created her. The real Miko is all the way in the future. Several thousand years into the future, and is in a coma or something. I guess maybe in the original timeline she did die, but in this new timeline she didn't, and she's being held in some sort of stasis coma type thing. So the real flesh and blood Miko could come back.
I think that is. I don't think that's one of the things that changed, because her supposed death was before the timeline diverged and didn't have anything to do with the changes that were made.
Oh, okay. So give it the timey-wimey. I need someone to draw me a chart. Please. Mapping all of this out. That's been one of my biggest frustrations with this, is just trying to keep everything straight as far as the timeline,
Sorry.
It's clear part is clear on who's on what side. The some characters we've only seen a couple of times. Like we finally had Mohinder come back and saw what actually happened with June 13th, and no, he was not responsible for the explosion.
Yep.
But
apparently he did die in it.
But see, we didn't actually see him die. In the original timeline, he did. Or maybe, supposedly he did. But we didn't actually see him die. And then we don't know where Hero is either. Hero is the one that grabbed Noah in that last episode. Where he went missing right after Melina stopped the giant storm cloud for all the ungrateful people that were stuck in traffic.
It makes sense.
She started it. No, she didn't. She stopped it.
I know, but those
people need to have their critical thinking skills examined. It was happening before she got there, and then she got there, and it stopped.
Yeah, I know. It's just I'll tell you what, if anything else, Heroes is, in a way, being so these scripts I'm sure were written months ago and filmed months ago, but still, it's, if anything else, Heroes Reborn, this specific storyline, if you take out all the polar cap reversing the polarity of the new whatever exactly is supposed to happen with that.
Reversing.
Yeah, but with the whole thing with the Evos and the Evo registration and all that, it's a good what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say metaphor, but it's a good litmus, I guess, of the current social landscape in the 2015 and the way things are happening socially, which in itself is unnerving because I see a lot of modern society and some of the storyline in Heroes Reborn. I don't like it.
Yeah, it's I don't know.
Yeah. It's a bit disconcerting because it's all like, yeah, this is hitting a little too close to home, but you know, I think that was probably someone on purpose, actually. So we can watch this, 10 years from now and be like, yes, that was back when this was going on in the world. No. I don't know if litmus is still quite the right word, but that's what I'm going to go with. Because I don't have my thesaurus in front of me. That, and I don't know what word I'm looking for. So.
Parallel?
Parallel. There we go. Thank you. Much better. Good parallel. Mich, the thesaurus.
Mich the writer.
Well, that too. That too. So, what else? What else?
Well, I'm trying.
What?
In my rewatch, I picked up a couple of things that were made clear in hindsight.
Yeah.
Like, in episode 4, when Melina and Farah are making their way down from the Arctic Circle, and Melina says the signs were there looked just like she said they'd be. Obviously talking about one of Angela's visions that she must have told them about before she sent them off.
Mm-hmm.
And Molly, when Noah and Quentin and Taylor find Molly at Renatus, she says, we all knew what was at stake, and we agreed to do whatever was necessary to keep them safe. Obviously talking about the twins.
Yeah.
And then when Noah asks her about that, she says, if I tell you, you won't go back. So obviously she knew he needed to go back to fulfill the time loop. And that she was able to, like, Renatus was using her power to find Evos.
Mm-hmm.
But she was able to keep the location of the twins secret even then. She was strong enough that her power wasn't used by Renatus to locate either Tommy or Melina.
Mm.
So.
And I wonder if that's a combination of Molly's strength, and at the time Erica would have thought that she was looking for an infant and maybe thought that the child had to be, well, because that wouldn't work as far as the timeline, as far as when the event's supposed to happen. But I can't imagine what Erica thinks she could be capable of with an infant. How you could harness an infant's power when sometimes manifest until they're older. So that's an interesting question.
And even with Tommy, she wasn't able to access. She tried to access time travel, like plug him into their systems and access his time travel ability, but she couldn't because that's not his base ability. There's a layer of his natural empathy-based ability, the power-stealing ability, in between. So she could have harnessed probably the power-stealing, but she's already doing that, so... But she couldn't access time travel because it wasn't actually his ability.
Right. Well, that's a good thing. That's a good thing for Tommy.
Peter would be just as useless to them as Tommy is because he's got that same layer in between of his actual ability in between and whatever ability that he might have that they would want to use.
Right. It'd be interesting to see if it's the time travel ability he currently has, or if he needs to steal someone else's when assuming that this is where they're going to go, when he and Melina have to finally team up to save the world. Because I don't know exactly because Melina is able to control the elements, but I don't see how that teamed up with time travel could potentially, well, I mean, maybe not necessarily the time travel, maybe it's his ability to just stop time. If he could stop time, and then Melina could do her thing to help try and stop the event from happening. I don't know. The hamster in my wheel is working on overtime now, thinking, how's this gonna work? Because really,
over on 10th Wonders, they're thinking that it's gonna involve a sacrifice from Luke. Like that Luke is gonna sacrifice himself somehow to do something necessary and it will also serve to redeem him for his actions at the beginning of the series.
Mm-hmm.
So, Luke's powers are solar based, so maybe he's involved with whatever the twins need to do somehow. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like, we don't know. We have to wait till next month to find out.
Maybe he can, if he was strong enough, he could like deflect the coronal mass ejection, this solar flare, or something. Or I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know. Which I guess is a good thing we don't know, because then we'd be spoiled.
Crazy whacked up. This might be crazy out there, but remember the episode, something like that.
Yeah.
Tommy used to tell her, so she can grow a forest overnight to protect the world from the solar flare. That's my crazy out there theory.
Hey, you know what?
But that's my crazy out there.
Maybe. Because I mean, at this point, it really seems like they really only have 2 options. I guess potentially 3. Find a way to protect the Earth and have the solar flares still happen. Find a way to stop the solar flares, which Erica is convinced that they cannot be stopped at all, which is why she's doing what she's doing. And I have a feeling she's very, very wrong, because that's the way bad guys are. Or they save as many people as they can and rebuild in the future, which is what Erica's trying to do. She's just doing it a very bad way. By killing people and making, tapping into Evo's powers without their consent in some cases. Maybe there's a 4th option. I don't know. But it seems like those are the 3 obvious options.
Option involves Tommy teleporting Luke out into like Earth's orbit so he can like push it away.
I don't know. Even for Heroes. I mean, Heroes gets pretty out there, but
I'm just throwing this out there. So like, but like if they got space, Lena or Luke or both into orbit, they work together, deflect the solar flare.
I don't know either. I don't know either. Speculation. We'll find out.
I like the in the forest of the night option, but I don't know.
Yeah. They do that, and then people are like, "Oh, you stole that from Doctor Who."
Probably aren't thinking along those lines.
Probably not.
But we did see Melina grow a tree in seconds in episode 4.
Yes, we did.
So, and I read that tree has no rings, like the trees in the Forest of the Night.
Yeah. Could you? We'll have to wait. Like I said, we'll have to wait and see. In a month, we'll find out. Let's talk about that for a second here. Considering we kept bringing it up earlier. Let's talk about the schedule. And the way this was aired. Listen up, NBC. You don't do a mini-series. Do a 2-hour premiere. Go through 10 episodes and then stop for 6 weeks with only 3 episodes left. Unless you really, really, really want to frustrate people. I understand there are other things that are going to be aired, have aired at this point. They did the live production of The Wiz last week, which I thoroughly enjoyed. Thank you. And that was in the same time slot. And there's going to be other stuff on with all the holiday programming that people have to air at this time of year. But this...
At this point, we're pushing into Christmas.
Yeah. But...
I'm not sure that would be the best option.
Yeah, you should have either started the series sooner so that you could get it all done before all the holiday programming, or like you were saying earlier,
stop. In October, and they were a month behind schedule at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they could have aired something else instead of episode 10 and done like you said and stopped at episode 9 with that cliffhanger.
Because episode 9 was a much better cliffhanger to leave on a winter hiatus or
that still would only left us with 4 episodes, but it would have ended on a better cliffhanger. And
Doctor Who Series 7 was a 5 and 8 split, so it would have been a little bit closer to that, not 10 and 3.
Yeah. Yeah. I understand that they fell behind, but done what we were talking about, cutting the airing an episode sooner, I think probably would have helped, because that would have given them an extra week to do stuff before it came back. But just the timing of it is, I can't. I don't understand the thinking and the logic. There doesn't seem to be any behind it, is really what it is, more than anything, and I don't like it. That's all I can say is I don't like it. But it is what it is. It's what's happened, and it'll come back a month from tomorrow as we're recording this. It comes back January 7th, and then goes for 3 weeks, and then that's it. We'll have our ending. As I roll my eyes. So, if I think I roll my eyes any further, they might get stuck, so I'm going to stop. I'm looking at you, NBC. But besides that, I've thoroughly enjoyed it. For the most part. There's some characters that I still don't quite understand where they exactly fit in. It seems like the whole storyline with Oscar was purely just for him to be the vehicle to get to Sunstone. And after that, he's not really served any purpose. Unless his nephew and, the priests end up becoming more involved with how everything's going to play out. Because he's not an Evo.
You mean Carlos?
Or Carlos, yeah.
I've connected him with the main plot. Because now he's met up with Farah and Taylor and the Hero Truther people.
Right. But he's not an Evo. So, other than moral support and maybe some muscle...
He was shown in the when Farrah's telling Melina that there will be people to help her with her destiny. Mm-hmm. He's one of the people that was shown, along with Luke and Tommy.
Yeah.
So he's connected somehow.
Right.
We just don't know quite how yet.
Yeah, because we now know that he had a history with Farah, but beyond that, I mean, it's not that we haven't had non-Evo people become part of the plot and help out. I mean, look at Noah. But for the most part, it's always come down to the Evos having to do everything, and since he's not one, it's like, where exactly is he going to fit in? Because if this fits the same quote-unquote template that they've done with all the other seasons of Heroes, that eventually most if not all of the characters we've seen are going to come together and do their part. They might not necessarily work as one big group, not like the Avengers, but they'll all eventually come together and as a more connected group, and these people will do that thing based on their abilities, and these people will do this thing based on their ability, And their combined powers, like Captain Planet. Your powers combined. You can save the world. And, yeah, it's just, you know, I'm curious of how he's going to fit in because he's not an Evo. Noah's going to be there in the middle of it because he's Noah, and that's kind of, yeah. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's like how does Carlos fit in? How does if Mohinder is still alive, will Mohinder come back and be involved with something? If Mohinder's dead, then it doesn't matter. Point, I don't think because of the time travel that Angela can do much of anything. I mean, she's had her visions showing the events that are going to happen, so I don't think Angela is probably going to
visions so they can act on them.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure her part in this is done.
Yeah. Especially considering she's really old now.
She's even older than she should be because she went back in time to raise Melina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Joanne is still out there. Luke's crazy ex-wife.
She's connected with Renatus at this point.
Yeah.
Because Harris picked her up in Carbondale.
Mm-hmm. And they haven't rescued Micah yet.
Not yet, but the trailer does show him free.
Yeah. Which would be good. Be very good. Poor Micah. Being used as a living hard drive, essentially. Hard drive, router, internet. So yeah, they still need to rescue Micah and save the world. And yeah, no big deal, no pressure.
And Kitchen City Hall is standing in either for Odessa or for the city in the future.
Mm.
There's gonna be an explosion.
There's gonna be something.
No, but literally, when I went to see the filming on the Thursday that
there
they
actually
were
was an explosion.
filming Kitchener,
Oh yeah.
there was an explosion. Like literally, like there was explosions in the plaza.
Ah.
So I got to see an explosion in person from a safe distance.
That's cool.
Very cool.
Nice.
Well, and more
of it once that episode's aired.
Yeah. Okay. But unless I go back to quote unquote the Chicago area, I don't know if you'll see your bank again.
Probably not, but...
Oh, if you don't know what we're talking about, go listen to our other Heroes Reborn episode. Actually, I don't think it was the other Heroes Reborn. It was a couple weeks ago. Yeah. What was it? No, it was our Halloween episode where we got to talking and we went on tangent and you were telling us about the bank. So go listen to our Halloween episode.
It's funny. Tommy and his mom were at the beginning of Brave New World. Tommy and his mom were trying to go to Canada. They never made it, but that bank would like to disagree.
Oh my goodness!
I thought of that. Like they never made it to Canada, but that bank did. That bank would like to disagree. That's a Canadian bank.
Oh.
In Illinois. Sorry.
Oh, I think we should end it right there. That was good. Line of the night goes to Mich.
One more thing. When I was watching episode 9, Erica's got this painting in her house of the city in the future.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of stylized, but I recognize it as the set of that from when they were filming here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you shared the picture with us, didn't you? Is that the picture?
In the painting, you can kind of see the fountain that's in front of City Hall, and there's a path across.
Mm-hmm.
That they put the path across. It's not normally there.
Right. Yeah. There's been some digital manipulation to the shot.
No, they actually built the physical thing.
They did.
Like, when they built the set, they built this path across with paving, looked like paving stone type thing, going across the fountain.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I don't know. I'm not sure if they used it for filming or not.
Yeah.
But it was there.
Well, that's cool. So you watch it, and you go, I live near there.
Well, and the Chris Kindle Market that I was mentioning before the show that's where it's set up every year at the beginning of December.
Cool.
So I was in that building when Miko first arrives at the city,
the
Gateway in the future. Right under that is a building, and that building is Kitchener City Hall, or at least that's where it was. That's the building they used to film that. So
we don't film anything here. A few times they've filmed in Indy for Parks and Recreation because it was set in Indiana, and they'd actually come to Indianapolis when they'd come to Indianapolis in the TV series, but that's it. Indianapolis doesn't get used much in the TV and movies, unfortunately.
Well, we've had some stuff that gets filmed in Kitchener, Waterloo, Cambridge area. I remember hearing about a show that was filming in Cambridge a few years back. I don't remember what the show was, but but quite a few shows film here because apparently it's cheaper to film in Canada than it is to film in the States.
Yeah, there's several places, and Canada is one of them that they the production costs tend to be cheaper, and a lot of the more popular places also offer tax incentives to both the production company and sometimes businesses. If businesses have to close or they get used as part of the set, they'll get either money or a tax break to help with the costs of the location being used, being occupied, and not being able to function as normal. We don't do that here in Indiana, hence why we don't film anything here, even when it's set here. No. Except for Parks and Recreation. But when in Parks and Recreation, you're supposed to be going to Lucas Oil Stadium and meeting up with Andrew Luck and Jim Irsay, the owner of the Colts. You kind of actually have to come to Indianapolis and actually go to Lucas Oil Stadium where Jim Irsay and Andrew Luck are. That and St. Elmo's Steakhouse, which is downtown.
So, and then in the same scene, where it says Gateway to the Future, about the building to the right of the words.
Mm-hmm.
About where the words are. I've been up there because that's where they have, during the Chris Kindle Market, they have a rest area where you can go up and you can sit down, grab a bite to eat, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I was up there just the other day.
When you're up there, were you all like, this was in Heroes Reborn? This has been on TV.
Exciting. Very exciting.
On a thing I watched. I would be like that. Like, I'm in this spot that was on TV.
Yeah. Yep. So I have this picture, a screenshot, and based on a picture that I took from the bus station, where Miko is standing in that shot, with showing the buildings and saying Gateway the Future, where she's standing, I think is about Victoria Park, which is just like there's a Victoria Park, and then there's a street, and then there's City Hall, and that looks to be about where she's standing, except there are actually buildings in between Victoria Park and City Hall. So
awesome.
I shared the photo I took from the bus station in our Heroes Reborn chat.
Yeah, I saw that.
And also the screenshot from the show. So maybe we can put those up with the episode.
Yeah.
Oh.
Awesome.
So people have a little indication of what it actually looks like.
Yeah. Like, this is what it looks like in real life. This is what it looks like after NBC's effects department gets a hold of it.
Yep. Which the picture I took was like during the filming, so you can kind of see the corner of a green screen and the tiling that they put on the front of City Hall.
Mm-hmm.
So
magic. No. Not magic, it's green screen. Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, there was a few different green screens that I saw that they were using for that shoot.
Yeah. It's nuts when you watch like making of like features on DVDs and stuff, and you see how much green screen or blue screen or whatever color screen they're using for some shots, and then you see it in the TV or movie, and it's so realistic.
Mm-hmm. I like behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, I do too.
Which is why I went to the filming.
Well, I'm glad you got to go and you're able to tell us about it, because that makes it even more exciting.
Yeah.
You got to see it.
Yeah.
Well, anything else?
I don't think so.
We're just gonna sit in heightened anticipation until January 7th. Such as it is, those winter hiatuses.
Yeah.
Heroes Reborn's actually going to come back before Agent Carter will now, so stuck waiting even longer.
I definitely want to encourage people to check out 10th Wonder podcast if they haven't already, because they've been doing weekly reviews of the episodes. I mean, and I think they're on hiatus now while the show is.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what are they doing now?
Yeah, they're taking the same break that the show is.
Fair enough. I thought maybe they'd delve into some of the, like the expanded universe stuff, but maybe they've already done it. I don't know. I'll have to go give them a listen and find out for myself.
They talked about maybe doing some of the expanded universe stuff. I don't know if they'll release any episodes regarding that. They did talk about it in their last episode.
Okay.
Talking about like the event series that I mentioned.
Mm.
There's a comic series that's all about sort of talking about Carlos' backstory a bit and the games. But there's like a tablet game and a computer or console. Well, I don't remember what. There's 2 different games.
I'm sure those are available on Amazon or something, probably. Check the internet if you're interested.
There's Gemini, which is, I think, PC console game.
Mm.
And then Enigma, which is a mobile tablet game.
Ah.
So.
Cool. All right. We should probably wrap this up before Brittany gets kicked off again.
Yeah.
If you keep hearing bleeping in the background, that's Brittany getting kicked off Skype.
Yep.
Through no fault of your own, it's just Skype.
Skype being stupid.
Yep.
As per usual.
Yeah. Alrighty then. Well, if you've enjoyed this and want to jump in on our discussion about Heroes Reborn or anything else we talk about, have talked about, will talk about, timey-wimey, you can reach us at our website. Everything is at our blog, which is the 5ish Fangirls podcast.blogspot.com. There you can find our contact us form, our email, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, Tumblr, Goodreads, all of the above. All the social medias. So you can get a hold of us through that. And then we're done with Star Wars Our Friends, so there's no need to remind people about Star Wars Our Friends. We finished last night. So I don't know.
Skip it to see Mockingjay Part 2.
Yeah, so it's hard. I was the only one tweeting. Now other people could have been watching and just not tweeting, like Chauncey. Chauncey was watching right next to me, but he doesn't tweet while watching. So
I was sleeping.
I just want to mention 10th Wonders. If you're interested in hearing what they had to say about the original Hero series, they do have an archive of all their previous episodes available on their website, heroespodcast.com. So if you want, they're available as MP3s. So
give you something to listen to until Heroes Reborn comes back.
And if you're you're also using the opportunity to get caught up on the original series,
Mm-hmm.
check that out and hear what they have to say about those episodes.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
10th Wonder was one of the first podcasts I started listening to, like, I don't know, like years ago.
And let's see, what are we... Our schedule's still somewhat in flux. Kind of making things up as we go along. Mostly because we didn't know when stuff was ending until, we watch a show and they're like, next week on the mid-season finale. Like, okay, well, that's when the mid-season finale is.
Finale.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. So next, if you want to join in, if you want to send us anything to talk for the next few weeks, next week maybe a twofer. We're either going to be talking about Once Upon a Time or Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or both. We haven't decided yet. Because they will both be on winter hiatus by next weekend. It may depend on what I get caught up on, because I'll be on vacation all this week. So, and then...
As a matter, Once Upon a Time is just about... Wait, is it just a regular 1 hour or is it 2 hours? I think so. I've been getting so confused with, like, when things go, but...
Yeah.
Anyway, it's wrapping up, like, right now.
Yeah.
Right now, as we record.
Yeah.
5 minutes from being done.
Yeah. So we'll be talking about one, if not both of those next week. The following week, it's a little movie that's coming out called Star Wars: The Force Awakens. And finished Star Wars or Friends. At the very least, we're going to talk about the series as a whole and the 6 films. We may talk about the new movie, depending on...
I may not have seen it by then.
Yeah.
Same.
A weekend, and I'm planning on seeing it with my dad, and there's lots of plans that weekend. So I may not have seen it by the 20th.
No. So if we do talk about it, it'll be in very broad terms then. We'll try to be as spoiler-free as possible, although I know Chrissy said she's probably not going to see it till after Christmas, and she's just resigned herself to the fact that she's probably going to get spoiled, but we'll try to remain as spoiler-free, at least for you guys who haven't seen it by then. I'll have seen it. Chauncey will have seen it. Chauncey will be joining us because he's the king of Star Wars in this little group. But we'll be talking Star Wars. And then right after Christmas, the weekend after Christmas, we'll be talking Series 9 and the Christmas special.
We can't talk about it now because Brittany's not caught up.
No. Oh, Lord.
Blame my job.
Yeah. At the very least, we'll be talking about Series 9. We may or may not talk about the Christmas special. We'll see. Depending on how long-winded we get, we may hold off and lump the Christmas special with the Sherlock quote-unquote Christmas special, and we'll just have a very Moffat Christmas. I don't know. We'll see. It's going to be a very Moffat Christmas regardless.
Which is actually kind of a scary Christmas if you think about it.
Yeah, it is. It's a very disturbing thought.
Also, the trailer I saw for the Doctor Who Christmas special is very funny and lighthearted, so...
Well, it's because it's River's song. River is back. I'm so excited. Oh. That was the night. That was the light at the end of the Fields Tunnel after last night's series finale.
Oh, great. Though I did stop part of it so I can kind of
All right. With that, we need to go because both Brittany and I need to go to bed. Both of us have to get up early tomorrow, so now that I've got myself all worked up now. If I'm going to go meditate for 10 minutes or something like that, I'm not going to be able to fall asleep. And we're losing Brittany. No! Brittany! No! No, we lost her.
Wait,
oh,
is she back?
Oh, she's back. Is she
Brittany?
back? Brittany?
Brittany?
Can you hear us, Brittany? She's here. She's not speaking. It's like she's here, but not. No, we're losing her again. No.
Are you gonna cut all this out?
Yeah. All right. Well, on behalf of Brittany, I can do my Brittany impersonation again. This is Brittany and Belvedere. Oh.
Hello?
Hey, she's back. Quick, say goodbye.
Alright, this is Brittany and Belvedere saying goodnight.
Here we go.
Mich saying goodnight from Kitchener, Ontario.
And this is Rachel in Indianapolis, Indiana. Oh, I hope we get our stuff together before next week. Oh, that's been crazy day. Good night, everyone.
You have been listening to the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. Any and all movies, books, games, and other forms of media mentioned are owned and operated by the respective copyright holders. No copyright infringement is intended or implied.